All right, Dr. Robert, can I do exercises and sports during the detox period or not? Sure, absolutely. Or should I slow down and give my body a rest? Well, an excellent question. I will say this. It's all about filtration. Check your urine, each and every one of you. Even you type 1 diabetes, check your urine. Make sure you're filtering. We showed this a lot. Thank you so much for the chart. Very good. Important to do this. It's important to understand your lymphatic system and why there's all these conditions. Example, type 1. If you call it a disease and you're fighting a disease, you lose. I'll say this, a detox rest is really important. And the reason is neurotransmitter shift that helps you to eliminate more. Remember your dopamines and acetylcholines, better at elimination. Hard to eliminate when you're pumping your epinephrines, your adrenalines. You just don't eliminate well. Stress does not create good elimination. So activity should be minor. If you're not filtering, I would say minimal. Walking, swimming, passive stretching, yoga, things like that. Once you're filtering, let the chemistry of your foods do your work for you. And I've said this before, we think in our society that exercise cures everything, and let me tell you, it does not. And here's a good example for you, honey. I would move from exercise to rest. I would get aggressive with detox, with what you know and read on and see on these videos, and start getting these acids out, because what's happening is you're producing acids your body can't get rid of, and now they're starting to burn you, and they're starting to make you swell. And the next thing they'll start doing is pulling calcium out of your femur, out of your hip and pelvic area, and you'll start noticing some osteoporosis. And then your knees will go, and it's just an ongoing thing. And then kidney stones, and it just keeps on going. No, 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 no. You need to rest right now. Take it easy. Passive walking, of course, is essential, but take it easy right now. This is not the time to make the body produce more acids when you haven't got the ability to remove them. It's that simple and easy to understand. So take it easy right now. Don't go exercise too much. No, you're going to see things like this happen. Not good. Will my kidneys start filtering the lymph if I exercise? If you're doing the raw and doing everything, there shouldn't be any reason why they shouldn't. The exercise isn't going to stop them from filtering. But the exercise, I'll say this, think about this, we talked about this. When you start activity, you remember your adrenals shift to epinephrine and norepinephrine. That's your adrenalines. That's the dilation of the vascular system. That's getting more blood, heart rate goes up, affects the thyroid. Everybody starts giving you more oxygen and more blood to cells. Because you're pumping up the muscles, you want more stamina, you want more agility, you want more power, you want more activity. But you can't have elimination with that. Elimination comes when you settle down and rest. Remember, when you're working out, you got lactic acid. Your lymph system must be moving effective too. Because in building up, if your kidneys are not filtering that and getting rid of those acids, you're in turn going to have a breakdown. Will exercise help in moving lymph? Only when you're filtering. Only when you're filtering, and you gotta filter. That's the key, is filtration of the lymph. Then it doesn't matter what you do in exercising because you're moving these acids out. If not, you can hurt worse. I'm telling you firsthand. The individual isn't moving his lymph system well, and he's exercising, creating more acidosis, more lymph issues. I find it impossible to exercise because activity seems to make the symptoms come out and more intensely. Now, this is what I've been saying to all of you since the beginning. And this is just a great example of this. There's a time to exercise, and then there's a time to rest. And I tell you, it's in my face more and more and more. Please rest more. Don't think you can go run this off. You relax more, particularly until you get your kidneys filtering. Because if you don't relax, the adrenals' message is to keep up the epinephrines, the norepinephrines, to keep up the adrenalines. And therefore, the dopamines and acetylcholines are sitting in the back row, waiting, and the kidneys never get their turn to help. Activity. And I think it goes something like, in exercise, I feel better. Well, this is true. This is true when you're halfway filtering. When you're not filtering, though, I've said this before, I have pro athletes that are here because when they are engaged in activity, they feel worse afterwards. And that's the problem, is that it's the residual kick of non-filtration of the lymph that you start to fill the acids that you've created. With that said, you know, detox is taking consideration of the bowels, the lymph, the kidneys, the endocrine glands, specifically the adrenals, but these are the central focus always in a detoxification. Never want to forget that, because you always want to think digestion, absorption, utilization, and then elimination. Those four processes which are key to Wellville. And those four things are so more controlled by the lymph system than people realize, or I'll say impacted by the lymph system, in that the lymph system is 3/4 of interstitial fluid. Does have some water and lipid and stuff like that, but just consider it the lymph fluids, and those are 3/4 of interstitial fluid. So really big system. Everybody needs to get used to that system.